So apparently we've all been lied to by gacha revenue. You know, I can't believe it. I never saw it coming. I can't believe this is the truth. I just can't believe I've been lied to. Who would have thought that information on the internet was wrong? It couldn't have been me. I couldn't believe it. But no, all jokes aside. Yeah, apparently the Sensor Tower is a fucking scam, which I'll be honest, doesn't surprise me. I mean, I kind of said, I think in like the last like 2 or 3 videos I made on Sensor Tower, like the gacha reports, I kind of always said like, okay, these are probably wrong, but I thought even though they're probably wrong, they might still be like a good frame of reference. They're probably somewhere in the ballpark, but apparently like it's a whole scam. It's a whole like it's just a one blatant fucking lie. So let's just figure it out. That's just like, and also I kind of also knew that the numbers were probably underreported because on the Sensor Tower or the Gotcha revenue, it's mobile revenue only. It doesn't include PC or any other ports. Because like Genshin and is Honkai Star on PS? Is Honkai Star on PS5? I know Genshin's on PS5. Is Honkai Star on PS5? I don't know. Yeah, Honkai Star is on PS5. Um, but yeah, like it's only mobile on the Gotcha revenue, so they're probably all underreported or what so. But yeah, let's just get to it. Let's learn how we have all been lied to by the internet.
Most of the popular gacha games on the market nowadays don't have a PvP game mode, in a genre defined by the
As they shouldn't, because that would 100% be pay to win. Let's just keep it real.
ability to pay for power. It's a great way to keep most players from being alienated by whales. Luckily, for the parts of the community that do like PvP, there's another outlet for that. The Sensor Tower monthly rankings and reports.
Like, if gacha games really do want to do PvP, they can't let you use your own account. Like, they can't let you use characters. They would have to let you use trial characters. Like, if they're going to do PvP, it can only be like trial characters that are put in the game by the devs. Like, it can't be your own account because that would just be way too unfair.
Measuring revenue and financial performance across a 30 or so day span, this report delivered at the start of each month always brings with it some of the spiciest conversations in the genre. Oftentimes, this data is just fuel for the fire.
I think it was ever since June or July. Was it June or July? There was one gacha revenue report where I was like, it was the gacha revenue report where Firefly from Honkai Star came out, and it like broke, and it severely underreported what it was. And ever since then, I was always like, yeah, I'm gonna take it from a grain of salt. I think like the first video I made of gacha revenue, I took it as fact. I was like, oh shit, these are the numbers, because it was the first time I ever saw it. But then after the whole Firefly thing, where like the Sensor Tower just fucking broke, I kind of just always took it with a grain of salt, and I was always like, these numbers may or may not be real, but at the very least, they might be a good frame of reference, but let's see if they actually are or not.
When it comes to a game's biggest haters, since if the data from this website is showing that a game's revenue went down, that surely means it's reaching its end.
Yeah, because making $6.7 million in 1 month is clearly a game dying. I have never understood. I made a video on this like a while ago. It's actually my most popular video. I was actually shocked that video got as many views as it did. But I never understood why like there's such massive hate to WoWa. I don't get it. Like I understand. Like even then, I've always said I can understand people liking Genshin. There are things to like about Genshin. As much as I shit on Genshin, I still play it for a reason, and that is there are things that you can like about Genshin. Don't get me wrong, but like holy shit, bro, there's just things WoWa is really good at that is better at Genshin. Combat is one of them. Like it's just the fucking truth. I don't get it. And then people are out here, the game is dying because it doesn't make $70 million like Hoyoverse. It's like, bro, I promise you they don't break. I promise you they probably don't even need like 500K to break even every month.
of service, right? These numbers are oftentimes treated as gospel by many members of the community, and you can't blame them either. Gacha players aren't known for their ability to read between the lines and critically think about information. A stack-ranked list of games with 2 numbers is easy to digest and easy to talk to others about. But what if I told you that all of this data that all of these people are using to draw these conclusions is just completely made up? And the funny thing is, you could confirm that this data is complete fan fiction in as little as 3 minutes on the gacha.
I've always thought the numbers were weird. First off, fan fiction. I'm a proud reader of fan fiction. Don't give a fuck. There are some interesting stories on fan fiction. What's it called? I was gonna say something. Right. I was gonna say, like, I've always thought the numbers were weird because, like, the numbers don't meet my expectations, and I'm not like some kind of psychic wizard. I always thought, like, oh, this is kind of weird. I thought this number would be higher. Why is this number like this? And especially what happened with Wua, because when I saw the number for Wua, I was like, for last month, I was like, there's no way Shorekeeper didn't do this. Only did, like, what was it, 10 mil? Like, Shorekeeper definitely did like 30 plus mil, 100%. That was Shorekeeper, bro.
Gacha revenue website itself, the original source of all these garbage reports. If there's one conclusion to come to after a surface level review of the data, it's clear that none of these numbers make any sense at all, and there are a lot of reasons for that. And today, we'll be taking the time to break down what those reasons are. As always, if you're enjoying this content, please hit that like and subscribe button. The most significant disclaimer when it comes to Sensor Tower revenue is also one that is never made known on the monthly revenue reports. That disclaimer is that a majority of their revenue estimations are completely made up. Going on to the
made up. What do you mean, like, made up? They're just coming up with numbers? Like, how are they made up?
In CN, and then changing to advanced view will show you that, wow, there isn't a single actual piece of data when it comes to Android revenue at all. Gacha revenue guesstimates off of Sensor Tower's numbers, or just makes up this entire column by multiplying the iOS numbers by 150 to 175%.
So they legit just guess?
Look at the month of June, for example, 12.
Wow. I didn't know that. They legit just guess. I thought they, like, got the numbers from somewhere and then had like a margin of error, because, you know, it can't always be, it's not going to be 1-to-1. So I thought, like, maybe they got the numbers and had added like a margin of error. But even, damn, bro.
$3 million in revenue, or 63.7% of the entire CN region, is completely made up. There's a reason why
wild.
the Gacha revenue website hides this information behind their convoluted interface and a tiny, tiny little button. There's a reason why they never clarify that over 60% of the actual numbers have no factual basis unless you dig into their FAQ. This data is genuinely bad, and there would be far less people blindly trusting these reports if they knew how bad it actually was. People on the internet are gullible. Hardly anybody
I think people would still believe it, even if they knew the information itself was faulty, because there really isn't, well, as far as I know, maybe he'll point it out, there really isn't another site that compiles the numbers like that in a very concise way. So I think people will still look at that website as like a frame of reference, because there's really no other site that, like, will compile the numbers up like that in a very concise manner for all the gacha games, not just one gacha game, you know what I mean? Like, sure, you could probably find Wua's accurate monthly revenue for Wua specifically on, like, their website or some shit. Maybe you have to find it somewhere else. But, like, for all the gacha games and just in one concise page, I don't think there's another website like that. So it's like, I think people are still going to use it.
Takes the time to actually validate the information that they're looking at. And this Gacha revenue website is built on a foundation of lying through omission by not disclosing any of these massive flaws directly to the viewer on the front page of the report. It's one of the most dishonest portrayals of performance possible, and it's a shame that a report like this that can't justify more than half of its data gets so much headspace across Gacha communities. This information alone might be enough to convince you that these reports are garbage. But what if I told you that its problems extend beyond that, to the point where
It gets
weeks of
even
data
worse?
and sales don't even show up at all? We saw a prime example of this in Wuthering Waves with the release of Shorekeeper and the absurdly awful revenue numbers.
Yeah, okay, so I wasn't crazy. I remember, I think I was even in the video I made when I watched this. I was like, there's no way Shorekeeper only made 6.7 mil. There has to be more. I was like, because I was thinking at least 30 mil. That's at least, right? It's probably more, but at least 30 mil. But like, I don't know. I thought that number was very weird.
Reported at the start of October, which indicated that Wuthering Waves made only $6.5 million. Many believe that the first 2 days of Shorekeeper's banner were included in those totals, and the wave of doom posting and counter doom posting dominated the community across the beginning of October. I was guilty of it myself. And then, lo